So Poppy Playtime holds a lot of mysteries and unanswered questions. In all chaos, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 gameplay trailer has been dropped. Let's first watch the trailer and dissect it.
Down here, it's not like anything you've seen above. It's hell. And Playtime wanted it to be.
Now what's this?
They call him the Doctor. He works with the prototype, commands everything down here. Hunting us, starving us.
There are no places you can hide. Not from me. I've got something special and more.
I need to make this right.
Let's make a game of you.
Failed you.
You lied to me!
Hiya there, pal. Follow me.
Let's analyze the trailer. The first thing we notice is a lump of dough falling from the ceiling, followed by a green lump, then red, and finally 2 blue ones. As these dough lumps hit the ground, an alarm starts blaring. The setting appears to be a rundown, abandoned prison cell. As the colorful lumps continue to fall, we hear Poppy narrating, stating that this part of the factory is unlike anything we've seen above and that it feels like hell down here.
Down here, it's not like anything you've seen above. It's hell.
The prison-like cells look heavily secured, likely used for experiments, and at the front of the room is a new Poppy Playtime logo exclusive to this area. Next, we see a familiar scene from a different angle, where the 4 corners grid isn't visible. Poppy continues to narrate, indicating that the condition of Playtime Company is intentional. We then see a room filled with red smoke, blood, and clutter on the floor. Sawyer appears in his new TV form saying, "Now watch this," which may indicate he has spotted us in the factory. This makes him the first Playtime Company employee we interact with, though it's unclear if he recognizes us. The room with the TV resembles the playhouse from Chapter 3, suggesting a connection to the nightmare creatures. We also glimpse a cave system beneath Playtime Company, showcasing the new logo again. Near our blue grab pack hand, we see a device used to solve puzzles throughout the game. A voice resembling Freddy Fazbear mentions the Doctor, accompanied by more TVs, suggesting Sawyer has control over them. We come across double doors at the end of a hallway, which everyone seems to find noteworthy. In the next clip, we finally see a Playtime employee, but they appear to have been taken out a long time ago. It's revealed that Sawyer works with the prototype, which contradicts some of my previous theories. The following scene looks like a cafeteria where workers used to gather, featuring yellow tables and stools with cans and bowls, indicating it was once a recreational space. We return to the room with red smoke, where a new narrator confirms that the Doctor commands everything down here. This room appears similar to where red smoke capsules were shown before. Later, we see Yarnaby narrowly missing us as we hide in a cage. The narrator continues, explaining that Sawyer and the prototype have been intentionally starving and torturing the other toys. His wording suggests that he is also a toy, stating that they command everything down here and are hunting us. We see a splatter of blood, indicating that this grim environment is pervasive. Next, we observe wall art featuring simplified drawings of various toys. Some recognizable ones include Happy Hopscotch, Crafty Corn, Bunzo Bunny, and Brun. However, many other drawings are too vague for clear connections. Despite the colorful designs and cheerful text, the expressions on the toys' faces and the text at the bottom right saying, "I'm scared," juxtaposed with, "We're safe," at the top right, create an ironic contrast. One drawing shows Poppy crossed out with a red X and the text, "She left us," suggesting that these toys are not aligned with Poppy and, by extension, not on our side either. For example, Bunzo Bunny, the yellow bunny with a green party hat, was instructed to kill us if we failed the musical memory minigame. When he failed, he was the one who died. We can also recall the Dog Day incident, where the mini-critters took over Dog Day's body. The reason they did this was that the prototype is seen as a god, punishing those who stray from its will. These toys follow this path to avoid a similar fate. If we analyze the situation objectively, the mini-critters acted the way they did because they felt they had no choice. They would either be killed by catnap or starve to death. Similarly, Bunzo Bunny's actions were driven by desperation. He had to either kill us to survive or be killed by Mommy Longlegs. The same reasoning applies to the mini Huggies. None of these toys attacked the player without cause. They weren't mindlessly charging at us in the lobby. When we consider all this information, the new drawing from the Chapter 4 trailer makes the contradictory text about safety feel hollow, especially when we look at the characters' facial expressions. It just doesn't add up. I want to revisit the drawing of Poppy because it raises many questions. At the end of Chapter 1, we freed Poppy from her case, and before that, the factory was in disarray. If we hadn't returned, Poppy's plans wouldn't have begun. This drawing must have been created after we freed her, unless Poppy was seen as a traitor before or shortly after the Hour of Joy started. But she was trapped in a glass case. This makes me wonder if someone is running around with markers. Moving on, we see some parkour action with the grab pack. Yarnaby is much larger than I expected, and this area looks similar to the elevator entrance from the Chapter 4 Yarnaby trailer. Since we can see Yarnaby here, this might be his territory. This will be the first time in Poppy Playtime history that we have a stealth scene. Up until now, we've been chased by our favorite toys, Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, and Catnap. Each chase was executed differently. Huggy was a straightforward run for your life. Mommy's chase involved finding safe spots, and Catnap had us staying put to survive like in Five Nights at Freddy's. However, this clip suggests that we'll have actual interactions with the toys instead of scripted sequences. It was even found that Mommy's speed changed based on the player's position in Chapter 2, ensuring that the scripted chase always went as planned. You might argue that the situations with Miss Delights and the ruined critters weren't scripted, as they had to navigate through Playcare to reach us. While that's true, no toy has ever been completely passive in searching for us until they actually see us. Let's continue. We're only halfway through the trailer. The next shot shows the same area from one of the Steam screenshots for Chapter 4, and if you look closely, you can see colorful pellets on the floor. I suspect these come from a character we haven't seen yet. If you're someone who hasn't watched the trailer and is just seeing this upload, I appreciate you. The next shot might be a significant clue in this puzzle. Harley Sawyer stands in the middle, flanked by what appear to be empty white hazard suits. I have a feeling this suggests some kind of army is being formed, and we're witnessing the early stages. Sawyer keeps emphasizing that he will have high control and authority over the factory's operations. Now here's something that might reassure some fans. Kissy Missy, the beloved toy, is still alive. We can even see Poppy on her shoulder. Just like in Chapter 3, this implies that whatever is happening takes place after we reunite with Poppy and Kissy. Looking at what's being said, Sawyer seems to be saying, "I have something special in mind," with the last part distorted. Please don't click away. Stay until the end, as I will return to this line, and what I have to say might surprise you. Also, can we talk about how stressed this toy looks? Poppy seems to be in a manual blinking phase, because her eyes appear so red. The next clip shows us boosting over an electrified platform with the help of our purple grab pack hand. The next two clips. I have a complicated relationship with this game mechanic that Mob Entertainment has introduced. I know this might be confusing, so let me explain. We see a silhouette that looks like Harley Sawyer waving at us, but then we get a clip of a less impressive version of Sawyer. This confirms that the vacant white hazard suits I mentioned earlier don't actually exist. Instead, it's this new entity, which I already dislike. There's something both frightening and intriguing about a creature that only moves when you're not looking at it. Miss Delight was a bit different though. She had a very loud limp that helped players track her, making her less scary. However, I suspect that these Sly Hoyer imposters will be silent, which could make them more unnerving. Now let's move on to the next clip where we have to fend off the new nightmare critters with the orange flare gun we got in Chapter 3. It seems Mob has improved the fire effects for the flare bullets, making it look like everything around them will catch fire. Hold on, I just spotted a mini Huggy in the background. However, there's no clear indication that what we're doing in this clip will lead to anything significant, just like with the Sly Hoyers. This is good because we should focus on what might happen when the chapter releases, which is exactly what Mob wants. So, the next clip is quite shocking. We see a bunch of deceased prisoners. Were these security personnel? Or were they adult test subjects who never got experimented on? Is this the aftermath of the Hour of Joy? Notice that we have to put away our grab pack hands to navigate through this area. It's a subtle detail, but it's something we haven't seen in the game before. And it's worth mentioning. This place gives off strong Playhouse vibes. The walls look almost identical, and we can see several TVs near a door, suggesting Sawyer's presence. In the clip, we hear Sawyer say, "Let's make a game of you," as a door opens in front of us. If you weren't convinced that Sawyer has control over a significant part of the factory, this should change your mind. Next, we see the nightmare critters advancing, then switch to Kissy Missy trying to break through a locked door, while Poppy desperately yells for someone to let her in. Strangely, Kissy Missy appears to have straps around her, as if she was restrained. There are also bloodstains on her fur, particularly where the straps are. This leads me to ask, who hurt Kissy Missy? In the following clip, Pianosaurus moves in a surprising way. Interestingly, none of his keys are lit up, which might connect to the theory that he feels pain through them. After this, we hear Ali trying to help us from outside. It's clear that Ali is working with us while fighting against Sawyer in the prototype. Then we see what looks like a corpse room, with bodies in bags hanging from the ceiling. Am I imagining things? We also see colorful dough pellets on the floor and hear an unfamiliar voice say, "I failed you," followed by Poppy saying, "You lied to me." The only two individuals that come to mind are the player and Elliot Ludwig. While this might sound crazy, consider this. Poppy's closest relationship is with Kissy Missy, who doesn't speak. The player also hasn't spoken, but we can express betrayal through our actions. There's a popular theory that Poppy's behavior stems from her relationship with Elliot Ludwig, suggesting that she was manipulated for his benefit. I realize this is a big leap, but there isn't enough evidence to firmly support this theory yet, so I won't be upset if you think I am crazy for suggesting it. Throughout this segment, we get some action clips, including a pounce from Baba Chops, and a clip that resembles a screenshot we received yesterday. Then we hear the most disturbing character reveal I've ever encountered. This character has been teased since the Chapter 4 ARG, and based on the clip, it seems he might be some kind of ally. Let's revisit the Sawyer message we heard earlier in the trailer. I noted that the last words sounded distorted. Which character in Poppy Playtime could cause that? The prototype is known for manipulating voices, and since he's teamed up with Sawyer, it's possible that the distortion is even from Sawyer himself. We've reached the end of this analysis. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.